Hello, welcome to Lazada Insider, featuring knowledge that makes a difference. We share trusted insights, forward-looking perspectives, and exclusive expert interviews to keep you ahead of the curve.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Lazada Insider. In today's special edition, we bring you Lazada Talks, a business program by Lazada Philippines that brings together industry experts and special guests to uncover real insights on current topics and the innovations that drive the latest trends in e-commerce and our community. The first episode was done in partnership with CNN Philippines, featuring members from Department of Trade and Industry, the SME community, and the CEO of Lazada Philippines, Ray Alimurung, coming together to deep dive into building trust in the ecosystem, as well as the respective roles each play in creating a safe e-commerce experience for all. Let's dive into it.
The pandemic has accelerated the growth of e-commerce, now changing the way consumers shop and how brands and sellers run their business. Now, the past year, we actually saw a record number of new online shoppers. For many Filipinos, e-commerce has become a trusted and convenient way to buy, whatever they're looking for while in the safety of their homes. Safety and security has also been a top priority for Lazada and for the industry as a whole. Now, today, we will dive into the building blocks of a trusted e-commerce experience on Lazada Talks, presented by CNN Philippines in partnership with Lazada. Now, due to the pandemic and increased internet penetration in the Philippines, consumption patterns have shifted towards digital, reshaping traditional ways of commerce. Now, each day, millions of people enjoy the ease and convenience of buying products online and having them shipped right to their doorsteps. All of these in just a few simple taps on their phone. And of course, in our world of e-commerce, the marketplace is incomplete without Lazada. As a leading e-commerce company in Southeast Asia, Lazada is part of many Filipinos' daily lives and has built an ecosystem that not only provides families with access to their essentials, but also empowers businesses with the tools to thrive online. Now, in a digital era where online scams and frauds are increasing in sophistication and prevalence, Lazada also works very closely with the government and the industry leaders. Now, together, they protect and they educate consumers and businesses about e-commerce, creating a safer and smarter shopping experience for all Filipinos. And today, our esteemed guests are here to shed light on how each and every one of us plays a part in making e-commerce safe. We have here today the Chief Executive Officer of Lazada Philippines, Mr. Ray Alimurung. Joining him from the Department of Trade and Industry is Assistant Secretary Mary Jean Pacheco. And finally, to tell us what a safe online shopping experience means from a consumer's point of view, we have fashion, travel, and lifestyle content creator, David Gison. So thank you all for joining us. Now, first up, I'd like to check with Ray. Ray, could you first give us an overview of the Philippines e-commerce industry today and actually the significant changes that have taken place over the last 2 years?
Hi, Christine. Thank you. It's great to be here. Definitely, e-commerce has seen a rapid growth in recent years. And we saw at Lazada how the pandemic accelerated Filipinos' adoption of digital services. But I'd like to mention, though, that even before the pandemic, this meteoric rise on the growth of e-commerce has been fueled by a confluence of factors that happened pretty much all within the same decade. No? So I would say it's the proliferation of smartphones, the dramatic decrease in the cost of higher connectivity speeds, the advent of social media, where actually a lot of e-commerce occurs, the entrance of big e-commerce platforms, starting with Lazada in 2012, and of course, the evolution of the Philippines logistics network.
Now, speaking about digitization, I'd like to find out, how has the shift to digitization impacted businesses and consumer behavior in the country? And how has Lazada actually been able to respond to these changing needs?
Definitely, this move to the digital economy has impacted both consumers and businesses. No? And Lazada has been reacting dynamically to evolve our how we respond to these changing needs. No? What we saw was that businesses have been diversifying and basically starting to have a digital strategy. During the pandemic, we saw 3 times more sellers on board on Lazada daily, than pre-COVID. And most of these sellers are actually onboarding on their own, right? You don't even need to talk to a human being to onboard, right? Together with our partnership with the DTI, we've actually onboarded 2,000 small businesses on the platform. And then moving over to our Lazmall platform, now we have 8,000 brands today, and 2,000 of these were onboarded during the pandemic. There are brands that, prior to the pandemic didn't occur to them to sell online, had to rethink their digital strategy. We also established new categories to meet the growing needs and demands of Filipino consumers in the pandemic, especially. For example, Lazada Fresh and Lazada Med, right? Which is over-the-counter medicines. And then we refreshed our logistics branding, continuing to expand more geographies, to serve more geographies, to enable all these many more sellers to come on board. On the consumer side, how the consumers have responded, no? Let me quote a Nielsen study where they say in April 21, that 325% increase in Filipino households shopping online, and 67% of these consumers who have purchased online plan to continue to buy online even after quarantine. And then what else did Lazada do to respond to these changes? We partnered with financial institutions to strengthen the use of cashless payments. For example, our co-branded card with Union Bank, as well as a tighter partnership with GCash. And then lastly, we drove awareness about the fact that you can purchase a lot of things online through our Nasa Lazada Yan branding campaign. And we continue to offer a lot of incentives to consumers on the platform using our tech to offer things like free shipping, cashback, as well as engage consumers through Laz Live, through our live stream platform.
I think, with the pandemic, people just, had to gravitate for lack of, they just had no more choice. They weren't allowed to leave their homes, and they still had to find ways to continue to live and to satisfy whatever their needs may be at home. Now, ASIC Jean, given all of these seismic shifts happening in the industry, and of course, the ones that Ray just shared with us, could you share more about the key priorities and the programs of the DTI?
Hi, Christine, and hello, Dr. Ray, to the CEO of Lazada. Hello, David. Thank you very much for inviting us here today. And thank you very much for that question. In January this year, 2021, we launched the Ecommerce Philippines 2022 roadmap. And it's quite easy to remember our tagline, basta e-commerce, madali. When you say madali, we want people to know that when you do e-commerce, it's easy, it's convenient, it's fast. So we want more people to sell online and more people to buy online and buy more frequently. I think Lazada would want that. And this is the way we try to make the e-commerce sector more robust. Madali for us stands with market access, that's MA. Da is digitalization, and Li would be logistics integration. So that's basically where the programs are focused on, whether it is about policy, whether it is about development intervention, whether it's about streamlining or ease of doing business, or communication. We cannot underestimate the power of communication, of encouraging people to buy and sell online. So those are the interventions. In terms of market access, this is where basically our partner from Lazada, this is where we've learned of new words like onboarding. When the pandemic started in March and April, to be honest with you, Lazada, that's Dr. Ray Alimurung, and of course, our very good friend, the first time I've met is Attorney Chico. They were the ones who really brought to our attention, this is where government can help. It's about pivoting from offline to online. So that's the onboarding. So I'm very glad about the report earlier that, all of the interventions that we've done, capacity building, telling people about taking out the fake news, making sure that people don't get troubled with ang hirap. It's so difficult to get to online. It's so expensive to onboard Lazada. So we put all of that out with a very accurate, I suppose, is the term, information from the resources themselves. So we invited everyone in the e-commerce ecosystem, the platforms, the fintechs, the logistics providers, and of course the enablers. So that's one. No? We've created what we called a reboot program. You are in your business, you control your business, so there's nothing else who can help you but yourselves. So it's exactly with your business. So that's one. So capacity building. And then there's also policy. Very in all of these efforts that we have to improve e-commerce, Lazada again is our call a friend. We always call to the platforms to help us. And also as another aspect of digitalization, it's about the digitalization of human capital. We are helping capacitate, coming out with a cadre of digital skilled workers so that we can support platforms like Lazada and all the other platforms in the e-commerce ecosystem. We need to have workers. So that's MADA, and then we go with logistics integration. So logistics is really about making sure that your delivery gets to you in the product, in the way that you saw it, the way it's in the quality, and of course in the reasonableness of the charges. So all of these things, Christine, we're really hitting it on all bases, trying to cover all bases. And it's really not just the Department of Trade and Industry. This is like, I know you hear it so many times about a whole of government approach, but it is true. We work with the Banco Central to make sure that, there's financial inclusion. We work with the DICT to make sure that there's internet connection. We work with the intellectual property. So all of these things are really the programs about the e-commerce roadmap. We did an estimate of there are about 500,000 online sellers. So by 2022, we hope to hit 1 million.
I'm sure it's going to keep growing. I mean, Asek, madali lang talaga. I mean, it has become, so much easier, and more people really have been using e-commerce platforms. I mean, Ray mentioned it. You yourself have been working hard together with Lazada to make it easier and safer for everyone. Now, I want to focus on David. I mean, David as a fashion and of course, lifestyle, travel, content creator, and a YouTuber. Oh my gosh, such influence that you have. I'm sure you are also an avid online shopper. So how long have you been using Lazada and e-commerce?
Hi, everyone. Yes, Christine, online shopping is life for me. And I think I started using e-commerce platforms back in 2012. Back then, I think it was only Multiply. So I started shopping tech items there, and then Lazada came into the picture, and then it's mostly tech items as well. So it's really nice to see how they really evolved throughout the years. So now I buy my clothes there, I buy my groceries there, I pretty much buy everything there, more of like my big ticket items. I got my oven there, my ref, everything. So I do my research online, might as well buy it online as well.
But okay, so you say that you buy a lot of things, I mean, online. But what is it about shopping on Lazada that excites you the most?
I guess because of the pandemic, it's usually mostly like you look forward to a trip or an event before, but now I look forward to the package that I'm getting. So I wait for the package that I'm getting. And it's really more about the convenience for me, the fact that you can shop anytime you want. I think most of the items that I purchased on Lazada, I did it at midnight, at 2 a.m., at 3 a.m. And then, of course, the variety as well. There's also a wide variety of stores and products you can choose from. You can also compare the prices from different products and different shops, which I think is very efficient and convenient. And before, shopping used to be a chore for me. Like you go to the mall and then you go out. But now it feels more of like a pleasure or a reward for me. And it saves me so much time. And I think it's also nice that more and more brands are getting on board on Lazada. So brands that aren't available yet before, they're now getting on board, which is really cool. And yeah, most likely the idea of looking forward to a product is really exciting for me.
I agree with you there. My whole household, I mean, my doorbell doesn't stop ringing. I mean, there are certain days, I mean, we're like 7 people in the house, considering my yaya and my driver as well. I mean, they're all excited, and it's become really a lifestyle. It's part of our everyday lives already. I mean, shopping online. Now, the positive impact of e-commerce to businesses, you have the ME community, and of course, the Filipino is truly undeniable. Now, although we also know that with new opportunities, diba, comes certain challenges. Now, Ray, I'd like to ask you, I'm sure you had to encounter, challenges with all of these, shifts more to digitization. What are those particular challenges that you are seeing, of course, with increased adoption, especially in the context of protecting? This is so important para sa ating mga consumers and of course the businesses as well, protecting the safety and security of the Filipinos. What would you say would be the challenges, Ray?
Definitely, e-commerce is being embraced by more and more Filipinos. However, we recognize that it's still fairly new, as a concept, even if it's been around since 2012. We see some consumers that are hesitant to purchase online because they either lack trust in shopping online, they want to see the product first, or they're not necessarily comfortable with cashless payments. Actually, what we've done at Lazada to address this is to send an awareness campaign called Sure Ka sa Lazada. We launched this last June to drive education and awareness that you can have a safe, secure shopping experience on Lazada. So the campaign uses social media and influencers and also peer-to-peer education. For example, we use home-based communities like on social media. And really at the heart of the campaign is a message that says that Lazada is a platform you can trust. We say this because we have legit sa Lazmall, easy refunds. There's an opportunity to have a seller chat. You can ask questions before you buy, right? There's safe payments. There's product and seller ratings, and as well as product reviews, and as well as 24/7 customer support. And then behind the scenes, Christine, we're working heavily with the DTI and other regulatory agencies to minimize and detect fraudulent behavior on the platform. And if need be, we will deactivate these products or take down the seller itself.
Yeah, I mean, it really helps that the consumers, feel safe. And once you get that, parang dire-diretso na. I mean, the phone, we won't stop, buying and purchasing all of these things on Lazada. Now, you mentioned something about the DTI race. So, ASEC, I mean, we know that consumer safety and of course protection are the top priorities para sa DTI. Ano po yung mga initiatives that the DTI is implementing, of course, to safeguard, yung mga consumers on e-commerce channels, including those programs jointly implemented with Lazada?
Christine, I'll be remiss in my duties if I don't really announce that October is the Consumer Welfare Month. And it's very appropriate, very timely, because the theme for this month is digital consumers, the new normal. So talagang the DTI really recognizes that online buying, digital really is really this is our normal now. I'd like to really appreciate also what Lazada's Ray Alimurung said, because consumer complaint is one of the major mandates of the department, and really that's where government needs to beef up its service to the public. So we recognize the programs of platforms like Lazada in making sure that they have an internal consumer complaint mechanism. But of course, government, we have a no wrong door policy. So if there is any complaint that you have with any particular product that you buy online, all you'd have to do is really to just talk to DTI 134, and we will certainly address that complaint and pass it on to the appropriate government agency in charge with that mandate. By the way, the next important, the question is what DTI is doing. Again, I don't really want to de-emphasize the role of and the power of communication. Information, education, communication, awareness is really integral to building trust. We have to make sure that we build trust so that people will not be afraid to use their credit card or to buy online. That's building trust, and we want to make sure that the messages are clear. If you are a seller, we ask you to please make sure that you abide with some code of ethics, that wag kang manloloko, kasi if you do one, madadala yung mga iba, right? So your action is irresponsible and it will create with the system. On the other hand, naman, unfortunately, if you're a buyer and you are a consumer and you got biktima ka, then you have a redress mechanism. So that's one of the things that the third one would be in terms of policy. Christine, you'd see the statistics in 2019. No, we had about mga 2,000 of complaints online. No, syempre in 2020, because many people were buying online, so it reached about 15,000 complaints. So more and more people are having complaints, and so we have to make sure that we use communication and we use policies, no? So consumer protection is top of mind, whether it is in communication, building trust is the main message, and of course in consumer complaints, that's where government is really making itself efficient, hopefully through redress.
Basically, ASEC, it's all about education. It's all about as you mentioned, communication, and it's nice that pag may mga complaints, nandiyan kayo, meron tayong isang ally with DTI to help us out, and of course ensuring that all the sellers are legit from Lazada's end. Now that is perfect, but you never, there's always a few misses here and there. Now, freedom to shop online, of course, is we know it's in our fingertips. However, as I said earlier, with this freedom comes a lot of responsibility. Now, as an e-consumer, David, any tips for us or on how we can actually stay safe and secured while shopping online?
So I've made so many online shopping mistakes in the past, and as a consumer myself of Lazada, I think I shop there at least twice a week. So I think I can say that I'm an expert. So if you want to become a vigilant and safe online shopper, you must, of course, read through the reviews and the credible seller ratings. So as a consumer also, I make sure to also leave my reviews on the seller's profile, so that it's like a community that we help each other. And then also, which is very important, look for the LazMall badge. When you look for a product, that means the product is 100% authentic. So what I do, especially when I buy like my vacuums or my electronics, I make sure to look for that LazMall badge. And then, of course, you can also chat with Clio. So Clio is Lazada's customer engagement officer. So you can chat with them 24/7, which is very efficient if you want to exchange an item or if you have questions about a specific product. It's very helpful as well. Of course, shop safely with Lazada. You can shop through Lazada Wallet, GCash, debit or credit card, BDO installments, and of course, cash on delivery.
Wow. I mean, you have amazing tips. I mean, I think I'm ready to go shopping. Time for the holidays. I am so ready. I mean, it has been such a wonderful and, enlightening discussion. And I know all of us are actually taking valuable knowledge from today's talk. But before I let you go, I'd like to ask if you have any final words to share with our viewers. I'd like to start with you, Asek.
Una, basa-basa before you buy, right? The good thing about online, the power is in your hands. You choose, and you have many items to choose from many sellers. So you use that wisely. And then they said, and it is one naman the cybersecurity people, they say, hindi ako maluloko. Hindi ako maluloko, hindi ako yan. The ones who say hindi sila maluloko are the ones that do. So, in other words, be vigilant. Always make sure that you read the reviews and then you check the sellers. Ako naman, I also like, aside from being, the consumer that we all are, we help other consumers if we do reviews. Yeah. So I hope that every time you buy, you spend some time to do the review so that other people can benefit from those reviews. because
Alex,
yeah.
You sound like an expert online shopper already.
Ang hirap ng the work ko talaga. I have to do this thing, do shopping to I can get experience.
There you go. See, that's so important. You know, you have the experience, you have the trust, and of course, use your phone. I mean, thank you so much, Asek, for sharing that. How about you naman, David? I know you've shared a lot of tips. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I think I covered everything naman, same with ASEC. But yeah, look for the Lazmall badge, chat with Cleo, shop safely at the comforts of your home, and I guess enjoy lang, shop lang na shop. Deserve mo yan.
I think we're gonna have to shop for a long time. I don't think this pandemic is gonna be going away anytime soon yet. Ikaw naman, Ray, any final words?
I want to say thank you, Christine, for moderating this panel on e-commerce, and I want to say thank you as well to my co-panelists, Asek Jean Pacheco of DTI and David Gison, both of whom have been great partners and allies in promoting and growing e-commerce. And I want to close by saying Lazada empowers sellers to go online and grow online in an easy manner and at a very low cost. Lazada as well empowers consumers to find what they're looking for, nasa Lazada yan, and to have a safe and secure online experience, sure ka sa Lazada. And Lazada will continue to invest in growing the Philippines' internet economy, empowering sellers and consumers, and uplifting lives.
There you go. Well said. Thank you so much for empowering the sellers, for empowering the consumers, for empowering me and my whole family as we continue to enjoy shopping on Lazada. And to our viewers, of course, we do hope that the discussion today makes your online shopping experience more meaningful and may help you traverse the platform with more purpose. Now, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Christine Jacob Sandejas. And maraming salamat sa ating mga guests. We have the CEO of Lazada Philippines, Mr. Ray Alimurong, Department of Trade and Industry Assistant Secretary, Mary Jean Pacheco, and Content Creator, David Guison. And sa ating mga viewers, once again, maraming salamat. Thank you so much for joining us here on Lazada Talks.
This is Lazada Insider. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you click follow and subscribe so you don't miss our latest insights and expert interviews. Thanks again for joining us. Until next time, take care.